My daughter is really funny. She's 9 years old, and she talks to me about things. She'll come in and say, "Mom, I can't sleep. My DNA is activating again." And I look at her and I just smile, because once upon a time in the ancient of days, all kids spoke like that. They knew. They knew when things were happening in their bodies and their DNA. They knew. They were taught since the time they were very small about where their chakras were located and about what this type of sensation meant, what that meant. They knew who they were. They knew why they were here, and they knew what to watch for and what to do with their energy system. So I'm watching my daughter, who sounds like an absolute nut compared to the other kids in the neighborhood, right? Only to their parents. She makes perfect sense in our house. But I watch her, and I look at the hope that's being brought back here. A new generation of children now are going to be raised with the knowledge of what it means to have chakras and what it means to have subtle bodies and what it means to be a spirit using the vehicle of flesh to express yourself. It's also going to raise a generation of rebels who are going to look at the old system, say, "Excuse me, I don't think so. I come from a very big love space, and I don't have to fight with you, but I don't have to buy your nonsense either." And they're going to find a way, because we're beginning to have the teachings brought back to us, where we can all find a way of reharnessing the power that was our birthright from the beginning, which is the power of manifestation. Before we can reclaim our power of manifestation, we need to reclaim the vessel through which manifestation takes place. And that means we need to heal our bodies, our DNA templates, because through that healing, we will get the rest of ourselves back in and remember all the wonderful knowledge we forgot. Once you start remembering, you won't need a speaker to tell you stuff. You'll realize you can access it directly through your own consciousness. Michael and I are speakers. Ashayana and I call them. I oscillate between the two, Michael and Ashayana. They're both his name. We're speakers, which means we have a job that we commissioned to do when we came in here as souls, as part of a team, part of the Indigo team, Team Indigo. We came in to help bring back the ancient teachings. But the teachings don't belong to us. They belong to all of you. They belong to everybody in this universe. We simply trained in a way that we could, on a planet with as much distortion in the grids as this one has. There were certain specialties of training that we needed to go through in order to understand how to get ourselves in a body, clear enough of the mess out of the gene code so we could then bring in the information and translate it in verbal form. But the information exists, and now the frequencies are becoming available on the planet. So even if there weren't speakers putting it in books for you to learn, if you knew just a little bit, if you knew that you have an avatar consciousness that lives right with you, and that there are things you can do to begin opening that knowledge, you would be able to begin accessing this data on your own. Now, the service that we do for people right now is to help them remember that. Because right now, if we didn't tell people this, people would still be having little choice other than believing what we've been told for thousands of years, which is we're pathetic, we're sinners, we die when our body dies, all this stuff, all this nonsense. If you don't know you have an avatar consciousness level, you're not going to be interested in looking for it, because you're